What's up YouTube? Houston here. For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always double salute. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about the Sophie World Elite Mastercard. Okay, and we're going to go a detailed review about this card, but I want to share something with you as well as other alternatives. Now, here's the thing about it with the Sophie World Elite Mastercard, okay, giving you the breakdown. I've told you all in other videos, with the World Elite Mastercard, it's almost equivalent to the Visa Signature card. And what that means is that it usually starts at about $5,000. That's usually what it starts out at about. For us, the limit that you start out with is about $5,000 starting. Okay. Now, understanding that there's no annual fees. The average credit score is a 670. Now, here's something that I was reading. There were a couple people with a 655 credit score, that actually got this card. Okay, they didn't. One of the things about it, they didn't like. If you have a recent bankruptcy, if it's a recent bankruptcy that's not over 4 years old, you have to take that into consideration. This card may turn you down. Okay, so if you have a bankruptcy between the ages of 1 to 3 years, you may get denied this card. Just keep that in mind. Most lenders, especially with the banks, they want you to be, sometimes they want you to have at least the bankruptcy to be at least 4 years old. Okay, so just so you can understand that. Now, with the Sophie World Elite Mastercard, it's issued by the Bank of Missouri. Okay, so it's issued by the Bank of Missouri. The good thing about this here credit card, you can actually do a soft pull to see if you qualify for the card. Okay, and what tends to happen if you qualify for the card, it'll instantly go into a hard pull, in which it will pull your FICO 8 credit score, okay, on your Experian. Now, here's the thing that I want you all to understand about this. All right, with Sophie, what they try to do, if you have a long employment history, you've been paying all your other bills on time, and you have a low DTI, debt to income ratio. Those are the main factors. So again, for those people that had like a 655 credit score and still got a $5,000 credit card from Sophie, it may have been because of their long employment history. Okay, and they also had a low DTI. Now, the unfortunate thing about this card, they don't have a recon department. So if you get denied, then there's nobody to reach out to plead your case about. Now, remember, like I said, this is a FICO 8 because it's through the Bank of Missouri. So they're going to pull your FICO 8 bank card Experian. Now, if you have a 670 credit score, then more likely your FICO 9 credit score may be higher. If that's the case, then I would tell you, so that you won't get an inquiry, I would probably suggest that you look at the upgrade Visa Signature card, okay? Because those cards go from 500 up to 50,000. The good thing about it is in reference to credit scores, they have a higher DTI, debt to income ratio of 75%, but you have to have at least 2 accounts on the credit score. Now, some of the data points, the minimum credit score is a 560, okay, but the average credit score is a 678. So that does not state that you have to have a 678 to be approved, but I'm just sharing some of the data points with you. And the average credit score, they don't state. Their average credit score, is about a 78,000. So that's household income. Okay, so if you and your wife is both of you all together making 78,000, that again, that does not mean you have to be making $78,000 in order to be approved. Okay, so people that have been making less than that have been able to get access to funding from Upgrade as well. All right, and it again, like I said, it's a FICO 9, and they're more likely going to pull your TransUnion on this card. Now, you have Upstart. Upstart, again, is one of those FICO 9. The reason that I tell you guys to focus on the FICO 9 is because with your FICO 9, you can build the scoring up. Okay, so what that means is that you can add authorized users to it. You can add your rent payment to your credit file. You can add subscriptions to your credit file to help build up the credit score and everything, right? And by you doing that, then your credit score goes up higher. Then it's much easier to get FICO 9 credit cards and loan versus a FICO 8, which is usually the traditional banks and everything. So your fintech companies are more flexible, just like your credit unions, okay? And speaking of credit unions, we got a couple of those we're going to talk about. But looking at Upstart, one of the things about it, they don't really focus on the FICO score. What they're doing, they're looking at, again, how long you've been on the job, how long you've been at your place of residence, what's your education level. Those are the things that are major to them. All right, having a valid email, valid phone, valid bank account. Minimum gross income is $12,000. Again, debt to income ratio is probably maybe about 70%. Most banks, if you have a DTI above 55%, they'll turn you down. Okay, so that's another reason you may want to look at the fintech companies as well. And the good thing about Upstart, they operate in all 50 states. So where I know New York has a hard time trying to get loans and credit cards and stuff like that, this is one of those options that you may want to consider. Now, if you are a member, or if it's possible for you to become a member of Navy Federal, then I would tell you to go after the Navy Federal cash rewards. Now, here's the interesting thing about Navy Federal. Some of you all may not know when I'm talking about the data points. In order to get the highest data points, the data points go from 100 up to 450 with Navy Federal. Okay, so you want to try to get above at least 300, 325. So now you're saying, well, how do I do that? Well, here's some data points that you need to consider. One, when you open up your business checking account, or I would see if I can have some of my money directly deposited with Navy Federal. That's number one. Number two, I would make sure that that checking account I have is the flagship checking account. Number three, I would make sure that in reference to my savings account and making sure that I have weekly deposits, okay? Those are some of the data points that they look at, especially for people that are trying to get the $25,000 credit cards and stuff like that. Because I made the video for some of you that may be familiar with where it actually proves that people with a 530 credit score that are members of Navy Federal have gotten $25,000 credit cards. So it's not impossible, but what it is those internal scoring. So again, having a flagship account, direct deposit, making sure you're doing weekly deposits, putting money, at least $25 a week into your savings account. If you're able to get a CD, and also they have a business, not the business, but your personal checking account, overdraft. That can be a line of credit for you as well. Usually starts out at about $500, okay? Used to go up to $15,000 for the personal checking line of credit, okay? But these are some things that are very important if you're trying to get larger limits of credit. And the good thing about it, they do use FICO 9 TransUnion. And then after 91 days, say that you get this card and it only starts you at $5,000. Well, after 91 days, go into the app and request a credit line increase. Now, one of the things about it, I would tell you, if you're going to be requesting a credit line increase through Navy Federal, if I have any other revolving credit cards, I would try to at least get those credit cards paid down to 10% or lower. The reason is because they see that you're managing your credit and stuff like that. They're willing to give you a higher line of credit. Okay, so that's the reason that I'm telling you that. But if you have multiple open revolving accounts and stuff like that, and you're trying to get a higher line of credit increase, they may give it to you, but they may not give you that $25,000 that you're trying to go after. Okay, and also one other thing I want to tell you, I would not do a product change. Okay. The reason is when you do a product change, they close down one of your other credit cards. So I would either get a credit line increase through the app, so that way you don't have to get the hard inquiry on your credit file. And then I would probably apply for a new credit card, but I would not do a product change. So that way you can have multiple credit cards with Navy Federal. All right. Now, I made a video about PENFED personal credit cards. I'll put a link below the video so you can actually see that. Now, one of the favorite cards, easier cards, is the Power Cash Rewards card. It's the Visa Signature, usually starts at about $5,000. Now, it's much easier for you to become a member with PENFED. One of the things about it that the advantage that Navy Federal has over PENFED is that they offer business accounts. PENFED doesn't offer business accounts, okay? But they both pull from FICO 9, except for PENFED uses Equifax FICO 9, all right? So this is just some data points to consider. So if you get denied for the Sophie World Elite Mastercard, then I would switch and start using my FICO 9 instead of my FICO 8 credit score to start being able to get access to funding. All right. Now, if you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, or you have any questions about how to remove negative items off of your credit, click the link in the description and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.